This is Roger Struckoff with Syscon TV at CloudEXPO East in New York in 2016, and we're joined for another year by Randy Domino with Commvault. Randy, thanks again for coming by to see us. What's new with Commvault? What's going on?
Happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me again. And by the way, congratulations on the growth and the scale of this show. It's 3 or 4 times larger than it was last year, and really good opportunity for us to get out and meet a lot more customers and a lot more prospects. So,
great.
The latest with Commvault is we're being the one true cloud agnostic and storage agnostic software solution. More and more customers are coming to us and saying, "Hey, what do you recommend? What's your best practice for implementing cloud? How can I do disaster recovery as a service in the cloud?" One of the newer things is Commvault now has our own managed services offering. So if you want to take advantage of the cloud, we actually have a team that will help you go in soup to nuts and actually help you get Commvault installed to take advantage of the cloud. And that can be either on-prem, pull to the cloud, or fully run our data management solution out of the cloud. So the big change has been more and more people coming to us and saying, "Hey, you guys don't have a vested interest in keeping a hardware box alive. You guys don't have a vested interest in a specific cloud." They ask us and we say, "How many cloud technologies do you support now?" I think last week when I left the office, we were over 31 different cloud technologies we were supporting between public cloud and private cloud. So we're becoming one of the few trusted ambassadors for people that want to get the true way on how to really roll out the cloud and integrate it most efficiently and most cost effectively for their enterprise.
How do you do that? I mean, agnostic's a cool word, but from your viewpoint, it means knowledge. It means you have to know a lot of stuff about a lot of things.
We hire a lot of people a lot smarter than I am that can do this with a lot of experience, but being a software solution for data management as long as we have been, the introduction to the cloud many years ago was really just another storage target and now another compute engine that we take advantage of. So since we've had a distributed software data management solution all these years, the cloud really takes advantage of what Commvault has done for many, many years. So we didn't have to go out and acquire different technologies. We didn't have to go out and actually build a new solution to integrate cloud. So all of our global deduplication capabilities where, just imagine if you have near petabyte worth of data, and you could deduplicate that 70, 80%. Now the cloud becomes a more interesting target much more efficiently than it would have been if I have to move the whole terabyte. And by the way, those cloud vendors and those hardware vendors, they don't want you to deduplicate because they want you to take as much space in the cloud as possible. But they can come to us and actually get a very strong reduction in that footprint, as well as getting the tried and true benefits of Commvault for granular management, e-discovery, content search, best of breed management for Exchange and SharePoint and SQL and Notes, etc. So you get all the magic application capability with Commvault, and the key with the amount of data that's exploding. And that's coming from mobile devices, that's coming from laptops, that's coming from tablets, that's coming from servers, and now data created in the cloud. With all the data that's exploding it, folks, if you can't index it and you can't search by content, you're dead in the water. And Commvault enables that simple e-discovery content search set just by moving the data, and maybe even without moving the data, by being able to index data by keeping it at the location it's at and just letting you reference it and letting you search for it.
Yeah, I mean, you want the smaller footprint because it's going to get big again. I mean, the way it's growing. How do you talk to customers about their needs to mine it, archive versus archiving it versus, there's different tiers I know of storage, but I get confused when I think about the complexity of different data types and sources and what exactly companies need to do with it. How do you handle all that? Do you customers come to you with a complete knowledge of what they need to do, or nothing, or somewhere in between? How does that work?
Most customers say, "Hey, my boss and my CEO told me I have to use the cloud. What do I do?"
Yeah.
And we'll start off by things like, "Hey, do you have virtualization? Do you have VMware? Do you have Hyper-V?" And they'll say, "Yes." "Well, would you like to have a full failover disaster recovery as a service so you could start up those data sets in the cloud if for some reason connectivity to your on-prem location went away, or for some reason there was an issue with your on-prem VMs?" And Commvault can enable your business to remain running just by firing those VMs up in the cloud. And we'll also do the translation for you. So if you have VMware, we'll translate it on the fly and auto-provision it to Hyper-V. If you have VMware, we'll actually move it up into a VM in AWS or a VM in Azure, and we'll make that seamless and transparent. And the second part of that is, again, a lot of those folks, administrators, are losing track of what applications are out there in their organization, what file types are out there in their organization. So at least with Commvault, they can search for data based on content. So if an end user comes and say, hey, I need all the email that had the hockey game in it, go find it for me. Or I need all of the data we have that had hockey game. Commvault can do a search by content and bring that data back, whether it's in SharePoint, whether it may be in a database, whether it's in a Unix or a Linux or a Mac file system. Will enable the administrator or the individual user to find that data based on content so they don't have to worry about what kind of environment it came from initially. They can gain access to their own data. And that would include, one of the trends we're seeing now is folks are beginning to roll out an application called Office 365.
Yes.
O365 Exchange and SharePoint. And one of the keys is, all right, you rolled out O365 Exchange, but you still have the same e-discovery and search requirement that you had with on-prem Exchange. So my question initially to users is, do you have an O365 Exchange e-discovery requirement, or do you have an enterprise-wide e-discovery and search requirement? And unanimously through thousands of people so far, it's been, I have an enterprise-wide search. Well, Commvault enables that O365 search set to be seamlessly indexed with everything on-prem or at various cloud locations, so you can have a single search across the enterprise. And that's a really nice, immediate benefit. We're demonstrating that here on a second-by-second basis today here at CloudEXPO. And that's an immediate benefit, an immediate way for folks to say, hey, I understand now. You can search for my email in the cloud as well as getting all my data on-prem and in other locations, and we say, yes, that's what Commvault enables.
Great. Now, the hockey, how's that going? I heard that word. So how's your activities in hockey going? You may not know everything he does, but tell us what the last year has brought.
The hockey team, the Commvault hockey team, thanks for asking. We've actually went over $1.2 million raised for local kids charities around North America. We actually branched into Canada this year with an event in Vancouver. And the events are still the same, tried and true, where we get our customers and partners on the ice in an NHL arena. We select 1, 2, or 3 local kids charities in that city to raise money for, and it's pretty special for us to still get on NHL ice. And the Commvault team has been fortunate, since no other computer companies want to play us. Since we're too good, we've actually been fortunate enough to continue playing with or against the USA Women's Olympic team, or very now, for example, this past year in Arizona, in Minnesota, in Columbus, and in Vancouver, we actually played against NHL alumni squads. And it's what we've been nice to see is those NHL alumni actually join us during the dinners, sign autographs, and again, all in the spirit of raising money for about 22, 23 different kids charities across North America. So we're looking forward to an exciting 2016-2017 season, and maybe we'll find a computer company that's actually willing to challenge us on the ice someplace. I don't know.
The challenge is there. And NHL players, it's one of those ironic things. For the most part, they engage in the roughest thing imaginable, and they're like the coolest, nicest guys off the ice that you've ever got to see.
They are the nicest. They never forget where they came from. They always are there, the first ones there to reach out and give back to the community. And I'll give one funny example. One of the guys who actually we occasionally sneak in to play with us, 1,000-point scorer in the NHL by the name of Brian Bellows. So I'm sitting in a meeting several months ago, my cell phone goes off, and people actually see Brian Bellows, and they're asking me, is that the guy? I said, all right, the meeting has to stop. I got to take this call. So I'm doing this session, and leading this seminar. I'm like, hey, Brian, how are you? And he just calls up and says, oh, I heard you playing in the Boston Garden in a couple of weeks. I'm like, yeah, we are. He goes, do you mind if I bring a couple of customers and play with you? I'm like, wait, I have a 1,000-point scorer in the NHL calling me up to see if he wants to play with us. I'm like, sure, Brian. It's a big problem. We'd love to have you and your customer join us. So we've been very fortunate with the NHL, and it's something that's grown nicely.
This is great. Go visit Commvault. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. For Syscon TV, this is Roger Struckhoff.